AutoCrit has changed over this summer, and I'm so excited for you to see the new tools that have been rolled out since the beginning of 2024. Welcome back, everybody. We're going to be AutoCrit's new ePub and print PDF ready formatting tools today, as well as the advanced character level analyzer results for the developmental editing side of your story, and the ability to load multiple files into a single project for editing and more. For those who don't know me, my name is Katherine. I'm a USA Today best-selling dark fantasy author, as well as an editor, and I've been a member of the AutoCrit editing team for a little while now, but this is not a sponsored video. I receive no compensation for them for filming it, for recording it, for sharing the links to the memberships, or for your signups. So this is solely me as a person who purchased a lifetime membership to AutoCrit 5 years ago, sharing news about a platform I love and I've used for 10 books. With that, let's dive in. So if you're new to AutoCrit and you don't know what it is, I'm not going to share every nitty-gritty detail in this video. I have linked the overview video in the description box for you. Instead, we're going to be focusing solely on the new updates as of August 30th, 2024. AutoCrit is a platform that helps you plan, write, edit, and now format your novel for publication or short story for publication among a community of fellow writers who are supportive and encouraging, but also honest. And it's just a great place to hang out. AutoCrit has a free membership if you'd like to give it a try just to see how the system feels and works. But it also has a pro level membership, which is what I bought Lifetime for 5 years ago, that gives you access to instructor-led pro member events, as well as the pro member forums that are a huge part of why I signed up here as pro to begin with, and the full suite of planning, writing, editing, and formatting tools. And the links in the description box for that. Today, the updates we're going to be talking about are in the writer's desk. This is where those planning, writing, and editing and formatting tools are going to be. The first update is right here on the home screen. The ability to upload multiple individual files as a single project in AutoCrit so that you can run a comprehensive developmental editing style report on it all at one time. If you're coming from a platform like Scrivener, this is going to be a huge help. You can export your individual files out as individual and then upload them here by just clicking in this little gray box, selecting all the files at one time and dragging them in. And then the system will prompt you to say, do you want them all in individual files or do you want to combine them? And if you already have a file going in AutoCrit and you didn't know this was a thing, you can actually scroll down to the end of the file, click, go to the new import button on the right-hand side, and either choose your other chapter files from within AutoCrit and click import beside them, or upload the file there. And so you can combine everything here. Just for the sake of demonstration, if I click here, because my cursor was down here at the end of the file, it's going to put this chapter here from within the Clockwork Vault. And then you can undo it and take that off if you don't actually want that there. None of the other tools have left. All of our AutoCrit tools that we've been using for years as users are still there, so you can still export the file out as docx, save as bookmarks, have your thesaurus, the voice-to-text dictation that I love because you can use AutoCrit on any device with a web browser pretty much, including a cell phone, and just turn it on and talk to tell your story. It's all there. Your ability to highlight dialogue so you can skip it and come back to it later and things like that. And all the line and copy editing tools are still there. All AutoCrit has done is add new features, not taking away old ones. And I want to let everybody rest assured that I am very conscious of being in alignment with the Guild when it comes to AI generative content. AutoCrit does not generate content of any kind for your work. They will not write or rewrite any portion of your book for you. The analyzers do use generative AI to power them, but they only give you feedback like a beta reader would. So if I open this here, it's only going to tell me about my book and what it read, conflicts that it found, possible contradictions in the story, things it think could be foreshadowed based on what I wrote, genre, that it could be based on what I wrote, but it won't give me any actual content. So it's not going to fall into generative AI. The system also does not use members' work to train the AI, which is huge. So you can just put your mind at ease on all of that. Once you have your whole book in here, one of the new features in that developmental editing level analyzer that I was telling you guys about is the level to go see your characters broken out. The system will tell you who it thinks the protagonist is, what their arc is, what their needs are, and track that all out for you. And then it will go through other character archetypes they have. Who's the antagonist? Surprise, it's Fred. Who's the relationship character? And that does not mean romantic relationship. That means the person who is supporting and guiding them on their journey. Who's the distraction character? Who's the other support characters, the opposition characters? All of these character types are broken down for you so that you can track those out, and even errors and plot holes with specific characters that you've written into the story, right, are all going to be available here. Now, this is a very old rough draft of Slayer Queen 2, so forgive any discrepancies, but it is very, very good at pinpointing where I went off the rails. And it was also good at pinpointing the fact that I had misaligned who my main character was, because Alara is not the main character of book 2. It should be William. And so using the feedback that it gave me about William, I was able to see where I went wrong in presenting him as the main character and reshifting that for the version that actually ended up being published. Now that the publishing tab has been added, which I'm going to show off in a second because that's where all the EPUB and print PDF formatting tools are, the chapter dropdown is going to be very important. If your book is labeled with chapters like chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3, then you can click auto find chapters and it will drop it here. This is great if you have multi-POV books like I do, because if you do decide that you want William's chapter to be before Alara's, you can just drag and drop and it will reorder it. Whatever you see here in this chapter dropdown is what is going to show up in your table of contents in the ePub file that AutoCrit generates. For your analyzer, for the developmental editing side that we just looked at, all of your chapters have to be between 200 and 10,000 words per chapter to run, but you can have as many chapters as you like. So my biggest book in here has 47 chapters. When it comes to the print and ePub PDFs, that limit is not there. You can have chapters that are shorter than 200 words. You can have chapters that are longer than 10,000 words. That limit is only for running the analyzer. And if you have chapters that are named instead of having the word chapter in them, you can click this little plus sign after you highlight the chapter name, and it will fill it in here, and you click save, and it will add it to your list for you. So once you set all that up, you can get ready to hop into the new publishing tab. The publishing tab has been a huge game changer. Now, I'm going to say, you guys know that I have great respect for Michael Davey. He has formatted almost all of my books for me, but sometimes I wait longer than I should, and I really need a simple format. I'm not one of these authors that needs super fancy graphics in my ePub formatting. But using some of the other softwares was really hard because of those dual POV characters, especially with table of contents. It just kept messing them up. I use interludes instead of the words chapters in all of my books. So those would get skipped or lumped into chapters, and it was a big mess. So make sure your chapter list is set up the way you want, and then hop on over here to the book details tab under publishing. And you can see you have a form to fill out that's all the basic front matter you would expect to see in a book. Your cover image that goes on the inside of an ePub. You can have it generate a title page using what you fill in here. The title of the book, if it's not the same as whatever you put on your file. The subtitle of the book. Your pen name. A brief description. Any subjects you want. That's, I think, more for nonfiction. Your publisher name would go here, and if you have a publisher image, it would go there. And then there's some ISBN number information. This Amazon box and Google Books box, those are more your ASINs, your electronic ISBN number equivalents. not the hyperlinks, because if you put the hyperlinks in there and you upload to a platform like Apple, they might kick it out because they don't like having non-universal links in their ePubs. There's also a good beginning to a copyright page here. Please go research copyright requirements and decide what you want to be here. This is just a basic guideline. So I would add to mine, for example, that this is a piece of fiction and that there any resemblance to actual people, living or dead, is entirely coincidental, and stuff like that. So find the one you want to have and put it there. Once you have your book interior and your details all set up, you can then come over here. And if you're writing a series, start a new template. That template will then be saved in your formatting template folder on any file in AutoCrit. So if you're writing a 6-book series, you don't have to recreate this template every single time, reformat every single time. You just go to templates and click on it and it'll be there. The settings that you have in here are the ability to set fonts by type. So your main text would be a certain font and a certain size. Chapter titles would be a certain font and size. And then heading number 2 for subtitles, heading number 3 for POV character, heading number 4 for location and date, if applicable, whether or not you want drop caps or small caps for your book. After a chapter starts or after a scene break, dinkus icon, which is used to indicate a POV character shift or a time skip or something like that. Whether you want to keep it looking the way it does over here on the left as far as your paragraph spacing and your line spacing, or whether you want to set it up to fix on the export, which I highly recommend. Don't bother formatting as you go. You can do it all in literally just a few clicks when the book is completely done. So tell it double space it. Change it to 2. I want it to be double spaced when it exports. You can tell it that you want those dinkus icons, those scene break graphics, to either be the default 3 asterisks, or you can replace it with a custom image. Just remember that scene breaks are usually only as high as a single line of text. So you don't want a ginormous scene break icon that's going to really tear people away from your content. Scrolling down, you've got the ability to choose your header footer layout for your print PDFs. So where you want your author name, the title name, the page numbers, that could all go there. And then there are built-in templates that you can choose from for that print PDF in order to upload it to whatever retailer you're planning on listing this on. Then you have margins that you can fill in down there. This template file is the same as if you went to active settings. It's just if you do it through templates, you have it to use again. And then you can preview how it will look in an ePub and how it will look in that PDF. You can actually download the PDF, download the ePub right here. Please make the time to actually look through it or hire a galley proofer. This is somebody who looks for formatting things that were overlooked. Like you have chapter 2 in there twice, or you have chapter 3 twice, but they're for 2 different chapters. Like the words chapter 3, you're missing a sentence here, whatever that is, so that you can fix it before you roll your book out. But that's what you would do to preview there. So those are all new tools that you have available to format a book right here out of AutoCrit. Now, it's not going to be super, super fancy formatting, okay? This is not going to be where you want to come for full page art, super fancy hand-drawn chapter heading illustrations. Those are probably still going to have to be done in a program like Vellum or with a hired formatter or interior designer for the book. But this is an industry standard, acceptable, simple formatting that you can do your own. And that is going to be a huge time saver and honestly money saver down the line if you write a lot and you churn out a lot of books. If you are wanting to do some of this formatting and export your book back out as a docx, there's also some new tools available up here on this toolbar along the top. Things like being able to justify your document here on the actual screen itself, to align center, left, right, to insert a page break, which should show up when you export, to insert your scene break so that your formatter knows where to search for them. My personal favorite, and my editor is probably going to sigh when she sees this, M dashes, as if I needed more of them, can now be inserted as well as in dashes and spaced ellipses. You can make all your quotes curly quotes if you want them instead of straight standard quotes. You can change your paragraph height and your font and your size, all this out here. It's just more work to do as you go than waiting to do it all when you export it out to publish it. But whatever it looks like on this screen right here is what it's going to look like when you export it out as a regular docx. So if you want it formatted to some degree, then you will want to make sure that that's formatted here. Then you can go to export docx and it will pull up like this. So those are some of the new features that have rolled out for AutoCrit. I'm curious to hear if you've used any of them, what you thought of them, and I'm happy to help answer any questions that you may have as well. So feel free to drop them in the comments. But I also highly recommend that you check out that overview video of AutoCrit and just get a feel for how the system works in general. This video is very short and specifically for these few points, but there's so much that AutoCrit has to offer from a developmental line and copy editing level, as well as planning a book and drafting a book in the system. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. If you liked the video, please like, subscribe, and I appreciate you being here. Take care. Bye.